Good afternoon, dear sisters. This is Erica Greif with Becoming Luminous. I want to welcome you here again to another Podcast Monday, where today we have the blissful fortune to speak to a woman who is a medicine woman and has deep wisdom to share with us. I'm honored to introduce you to Maren Good. She is a beautiful soul, and I welcome you, Maren. How are you this afternoon?
Yes, thank you, Erica. What a gracious introduction. Happy to be here.
Wonderful, thank you, sisters. Let's take this time. This is your time. This is your time to tap into the sisterhood circle that surrounds you, the women who come to listen now as we are live, as well as the sisters who come later. Allow yourself to sit in the circle, taking nice, cleansing, deep breaths in through your nose, filling your belly, filling your womb space. Allow the gravity of your luminous energy field to become heavy. Releasing any tension, any tightness in your mind, in your spirit. Allowing your belly to expand, breathing deeply into your womb and down into the space I love to call your vaginal breathing. This is your time. Your time to sit in council, sit in circle. Feel held. Feel welcomed. Feel a space within your mind, your heart, your spirit that connects with a joy. The joy of being in circle with your sisters. And as Maren and I will touch upon, and as I have continued to touch upon within these podcasts, we are healing, opening, and awakening the sacred feminine. And so go ahead and get yourself a little water. Maybe you need a notebook, something to write with. Maren has so much to offer you here today. And as always, if any of the pieces that are offered here to you today awaken something within you, and you would like further support on understanding, healing, to reach Maren, you can go to her website, which is scentandsoundworks.com. So SCENTandSoundWorks.com. And with that, Maren, we have so much to talk about. Once again, I thank you for being here. I thank you for bringing your years worth of wisdom and insight. I almost don't know where to begin, to be honest. how about let's talk about what you're doing right now with the Dr. Conforti work, with the Assisi Institute. Is that accurate?
Yes.
And the dream patterning. And then maybe we can weave it into the Dr. Estes work. Ladies, you would know Dr. Estes from her book, Women Who Run with the Wolves. Maren has had the good fortune to work directly with Dr. Estes and Dr. Conforti. And then maybe we can weave it into your personal story about where you are, the healing that you have received and that you continue to receive from the sound healing that you offer and are able to receive healing at the same time. So where does that fall for you? Where would you like to start in that? Whatever makes sense to you.
Right. Everything that you mentioned, it's all so integrated that there's a shared relevance, if you will, among all those pieces. And so I'll pull a few threads out because it's one fabric for me now. And I think that's what I celebrate most at this stage of my life, that everything I've done has ultimately woven together to make sense and inform the work that I do. So I think about several things. One is, how does this influence how I take care of myself? How does it influence how I take care of my family and friends and my community and the larger community? So I sort of think about those three layers of what am I doing personally, what am I doing in my immediate family, and what is my offering to the community. So with Dr. Conforti's work and the Assisi Institute, it came to pass because of my interest in a larger cosmology and the archetypal world specifically.
Are you able to explain a little bit to our sisters who might not have a firm grip on those two concepts and maybe go a little bit into what exactly Dr. Conforti's work is so that we have a really nice grasp here?
Yes. They do a number of things at the Assisi Institute. The one that really spoke to me, that seemed most relevant, was this dream patterning series that he does. And it's how to understand archetypes are universal realities, worldwide, that are myths, are fairy tales, are dreams, that they all speak to us, from the archetypal realm. And so the piece that Dr. Conforti has taken with the dream patterning is, how do we begin to understand the language of archetypes as they speak to us through our dreams? So in addition to what do our dreams mean to us, how can we begin to be still and understand the landscape? Not to be too quick to jump on, oh, I know what this means, or to look it up in a dream interpretation book, but to see where, what is the message that's really trying to come to me through these archetypal patterns. And we spent a lot of time in our very first course with him, and he called it the eclipse of God. He said, if you only interpret it from a personal standpoint, in a sense, you are eclipsing God, that you are not availing yourself to the deeper wisdom that can come through this archetypal world.
Now tell me, what would be the benefits of availing yourself? I mean, I personally feel that when I do, I allow myself to see the bigger picture and allow myself as a medicine woman to hold a bigger picture of healing that's not just for me, that might be for my clients, that might be for my community, and as the sacred feminine and the world as a whole. Is there another? Am I missing something there on how to hold that, or is that pretty accurate on how to hold that?
I think that's pretty accurate.
Mm-hmm.
It's the discipline, and it's really been interesting going through this work with him. We meet every other week, to keep it simple, to not to really, it's like, what is the field? To read the field.
And what do you mean by the field? You mean the actual landscape? Like, are we in the jungle, or are we in the desert?
Yes, the what's being revealed in the dream, and is it coherent in the sense? Is it something that makes sense? It's like, if you're flying a plane, does that make sense? Are you really a pilot in real life?
Well, what would that discrepancy hold? Like, what would I go with? Like, okay, no, I'm not a pilot. Well, what the heck does that mean then?
Well, you might be looking at where you're putting something at risk.
Oh.
Who's with you in that plane, and who are you flying?
Okay.
So it's looking at, is what happens in the dream coherent to what's occurring in your life?
Okay. That's great information then.
It's really, really fascinating, because he would just keep, in every class, I have to say, it's like he keeps slowing you down and going, wait, keep it simple, back it up. Right. Is that really what this is trying to convey to you? And then you start to build on that, and what happens is you really begin to step into the profound message that the dream can deliver.
Thus, if we do not slow down, we are eclipsing God. I understand. Yeah. Oh, I love this. And then how do we, or is there anything else that feels good to share about that? Maybe the book that brought you to Dr. Conforti?
Well, his book, the one that I first read, is called Field, Form, and Fate. Mm-hmm. And so it's really working with this shaping of the landscape. And you get into, which is what informs a lot of my work, is that it's a vibratory universe. Mm-hmm. That sound, that frequency really shapes our form. Mm. So what we resonate with actually is something that we're drawing to us, because that's how we're shaping our form. That's how we're shaping our world. Mm. If that makes sense.
It sure does. I last week I was speaking about the law of attraction, and how that place within us, we have the availability within us to resonate at a certain frequency, and we do that through our physiology, we do that through our words, we do that through our beliefs and our focus, and this resonates out from us. And then the way that I explained it is that, like our psyche, right, the luminous energy field that we are, there's an end to it. It's like the edges of a pond. And once it hits the edges, it comes back to the center. Well, when it comes back to the center, it also draws that exact same frequency back to you, so that the reality that you see, that the quote-unquote reality that you see around you, is in direct correlation to what it is that you are putting out. And I just love that sound healing, and truly understanding the resonance in which we are vibrating at is in a lot of ways in our power, and thus, if we skip over that, then we are once again eclipsing God. We're not stepping into the wholeness in which we are able to create from a place of patience, wisdom, consciousness, all of that beauty. So when you finally had the